One of my guilty pleasures is watching spooky movies. However, my wife hates spooky movies, so I hardly ever watch them. To get my fix, I'll watch those ending explain videos on YouTube. You know, the ones that are like 10 to 15 minutes long, just runs through the plot, and it feels like you got everything you need to know about the movie. Well, I was thinking about this concept of ending explained, and it made me think about how we are using AI these days and how we're constantly adopting it for summarization, and how this is actually a huge mistake when it comes to your expertise, the way that you operate a business, and how you put yourself out there into market. In this video, we're going to talk about this big mistake, break it down a little bit more on why summarization isn't always the right way to go when it comes to meetings, documents, emails, etc. And then something that you can do this week to test this theory out on your own, and let me know in the comments if you experienced it yourself. Now, before we dive into this challenge that we have now with AI being able to synthesize and give us back summaries of everything, I want to just clear the air and say that this is kind of the main selling point with a lot of companies to you with their AI tools. It's going to be summarize this meeting. Maybe you can attend less meetings, just get the high level notes that you need, summarize this document, summarize this email, give me a draft. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this way of working. I love it. I don't want to go to every single meeting. I like getting meeting recaps, just getting the bullets of the things that I need to know that I have to take actions on. I like summarizing long documents and also synthesizing things that might be a little technical or hard for me to understand into a language that a third grader can understand. Absolutely love it. But with this style of summarizing everything, we start to lose the context. You may have experienced this yourself, that you just feel like the response you're getting back from the AI is just not quite nailing it. There's just something off about it and you can't really figure out why. However, if you've ever watched those ending explain videos and then you go and watch the actual movie, depending on what movie you're watching, especially for spooky movies, the level of quality is going to vary greatly. But there are some really great spooky movies out there that have a lot of themes and a lot of context that happens with the shots and the in-between moments that you're just going to miss when it comes to someone spewing out a recap. And it's those nuanced moments, it's the feeling you get while watching it, it's the experience that just gets glossed over. And AI does this all the time when it's trying to summarize a document or summarize a meeting. It will pattern match what it thinks is the most important thing and then just summarize those things. But if you've ever gone into a meeting with somebody, there's always going to be nuance with the way that they say something, maybe the way they're thinking or pausing. Those things that you just cannot pick up from a quick summary that could actually be the difference between something actually getting done and something getting dropped. Because the meeting notes will just say, yeah, this action needs to be taken, but really, was that decided on? Was that something that needs to actually happen? Was there agreement between the two parties? That's up to debate if you weren't in the meeting. Now, I'm not saying that we should skip meeting recaps because, again, I find that most meetings can be an email, and even better now with AI, they can be a summarized talking point with some bullets that help you know what you need to know and take your action and save your time. As an expert in your field, I'm sure you've had this moment to where you're trying to use AI to accelerate your workflow, and you end up having to catch it in a lot of minor mistakes, or it goes off on a thread that you don't really feel like is the most important thing, and you have to keep redirecting it back to the context and the nuance that it missed. And it will be like, oh, you're right, I'm sorry, I overlooked this. And then you start to have this weird back and forth, and by the time you get it to give you what you're looking for, you might as well have just done it all yourself. The real skill here is going to be understanding how to not give away all your agency to AI, but to discern what deserves a summary and what deserves the full watch of the movie, so to speak. As your expertise erodes, your leverage erodes with it. If you just continue to rely on AI to synthesize everything for you, what ends up happening is you start getting copies of copies of copies. Unfortunately, this is going to be the way that a lot of things go nowadays because, let's just face it, people are lazy And as we start to get into this 10x mentality, it's really easy to skip over what AI is giving you and just accept it for what it is and lose your critical eye on it. So you might just be taking it for what it is and then taking that output and putting it somewhere else. And then AI is now going on that output and then getting you another output. And before you know it, you just have a homogeneous mess that's really eliminated all of your expertise and what makes you and your business great. This is actually good news for you because as an expert and someone who's running your own business, you know what needs to get done. You know what great looks like. You've already proven the market to be there. You have customers. So the question is, how do you leverage AI to give you the leg up and accelerate your workflows and take things off your plate without removing the expertise? And because you have the expertise, you have the discernment to know when AI is confidently wrong or 95% of the way right. But when that 5% is the difference maker, you will catch it. Now, this whole thing that I'm talking about can also be broken down to a concept called syntopical knowledge or syntopical understanding. I got this idea from a book called How to Read a Book, and it really talks about this topic pre-AI in a really enlightening way. I thought this book was amazing. I read it in a philosophy class in college, and it stuck with me. And syntopical understanding is when you read something from one area, and then you read something from a different area, and then maybe you have some context that you've learned throughout life, and then you're able to take all of those pieces of information and bring together a new thought that's not present in any of those pieces of material. And it's also your experiences and the way that you have engaged with life and just had moments that you're able to create these perspectives that will never be found in AI. AI will never be able to give you those perspectives. And so syntopical knowledge is the thing that you need to continue to pursue in your day-to-day so that way you can become a better discerner of AI and leverage it to its full potential. Because AI is a great pattern matcher and it has all the world's knowledge at its fingertips, but it doesn't have the ability for syntopical understanding because that comes from your unique story, your unique viewpoints, your unique expertise, your trial and error, the things that have worked, the things that haven't worked, and just your circumstances. Those things matter. Those things inform your decisions. Those inform buyers to work with you. So understanding that you are not being replaced by AI, but it's coming along to facilitate your expertise is a mind shift that you have to make and you have to be comfortable with. And now this syntopical knowledge is something that is a mandate to you. And that is you need to stay curious, you need to stay learning, and you need to continue to go analog, read physical books, write in physical journals, go out for walks, disconnect from your tools, from your technology. And as a small business owner, I'm sure that's very difficult for you. And that's also why we're talking about AI, because AI has the ability to remove a lot of the things that are eating up your day and give you back your time if you know how to work with it. But once you get your time back, you need to take that time and get away from the technology because your ability to think and reason and to make those connections is what's going to be your superpower moving forward. You do not want to have a business that is the ending explained version of your business because those businesses are going to become more common and they're not going to stand out or be differentiated. And the one that disconnects from the technology and gets out there and thinks and ponders and uses their brain alongside the AI is going to win. Another thing about how to read a book that I think is worth mentioning here is that in that book, they say that most books don't need to be read. You could read the table of contents and the index and get most of what you need to know from the book just from that. You could read the book in 15 minutes. So there is a level of knowing how to discern what is a book to skip, so to speak, or a movie to have summarized, and what is the book you need to read or the movie you need to watch. And again, that's going to come all down to discernment and your expertise. If you don't know what is driving your business forward and what is the end zone goals, then this topic will never help you out because you're going to continue to optimize for the things that don't need to be optimized for. You're going to continue to summarize the things that need to actually have your attention, or you might be spending all of your attention on things that need to be summarized. So taking a step back and just doing a little bit of inventory on your work week and looking at what kind of meetings am I in? What kind of emails do I get distracted by or spend a lot of time working on? What kind of documents come across my desk? And take the time to, one, go full analog, in this sense, read the whole document, watch the whole video, go to the meeting, and then do the opposite. Have AI scan it and give you a summary. And if you're feeling like there's a sense of something missing, that the meeting that you now skipped 1 week, you're just not clear on what needs to happen, or you're feeling less aligned with your team for the work that needs to get accomplished, well, then that's you tuning yourself to understanding what needs your attention and what can be summarized. So that's something to take with you on this week as an exercise, and let me know how it goes in the comments. I'd love to know. And the next thing to understand when it comes to AI is to get off the web app version of your LLM of choice, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. If you're going into the web interface and using it like a chatbot, I would say you need to stop that. There are some good things about it, and it does remember parts of you, and you can connect different tools, but that's really renting the house on Airbnb and being able to go in and use the facilities, and it's really nice and you enjoy it, but you can't get into the plumbing. You wouldn't be able to, redo the kitchen to make sure that it's set up to be optimized specifically for you and what you need. And you need to have that if you're going to work with AI in the long term and use it to your competitive advantage. Now, the best way to do that is to get into working with a desktop interface, whether that's Claude, Codex, or Google's Anti-Gravity, and setting up your own file system that's on your computer and leveraging the coding agents that are within those particular LLMs. Now, don't be alarmed about coding, because you don't need to learn how to code. You don't need to become a developer. The code is the thing, though, that's going to help you be able to customize and redo the kitchen and create the filing system, the knowledge base, and the scripts and workflows and automations that you need to be able to have AI have context around your business, where you're currently at with it today, what you're working on, what your team's working on, what are projects that are ongoing, what are projects that have timeframes associated with them. It can organize your thoughts. It can give you briefs in the beginning of the week. It can give you recaps at the end of the week. You can create projects that you could sync to other teammates' folders, and they would get that and understand exactly what it is that you need accomplished. And there would be no back and forth guesswork, because you would be using the AI to build those things out. This may sound complicated, but it really isn't that complicated at all. And it's actually what I run my clients through on a weekend workshop called the AI Engine Weekend Workshop. And you can go check it out, where you actually get a download to where you get the full filing system that I've created for my own business to be easily installed onto your local computer, where it asks you a bunch of questions and you get your entire business built into the system. And as you continue to use it, it gets better over time. It becomes more customized to you. It will automate processes for you, and it's an absolutely amazing tool that every business should be leveraging. Because if you try to bolt on AI to existing workflows and tools in your business, it's just not going to work. It's going to break. You need to start from the ground up, and the ground up is in your local computer on files that you own. You'll have less things fall through the cracks. It'll understand the business nuances and the things that you want it to know. It'll understand your tone of voice, how to write like you, how to suggest different ways to make your workflow more optimized. And it really is the next step to your standard workflow automations like in a Zapier or Google Sheets scripts. So if that sounds interesting to you, go into the show notes below and check it out. We're running one here soon, but we are on a wait list. So just sign up for the wait list, and then you'll get information on when the next one is going to run. So remember, expertise and your expertise is a new skill, and understanding how to know when AI can summarize what you need and give it back to you in just the notes, and where you need to dig in is going to be the skill set that's going to separate your business from your competition and help you win in the market, because you're just going to be way more efficient. And as AI starts to take over everything in businesses, the bar is going to raise, but the level of output is all going to start to feel the same. We're going to start to become really in tune to what is AI. So just take this with you throughout your week and think about where you may have over-relied on AI to summarize things for you. Or maybe you're not even using AI to summarize things for you. Well, figure out what you can get summarized, but know that your expertise will always be the thing that's going to be in demand, and AI cannot take it away from you. Because again, you're human, you have expertise and skills and ways of thinking about knowledge and bringing it together to create an original thought. Again, that's syntopical understanding. AI just isn't going to get there because it's not a human. It doesn't live. It doesn't understand the nuances of emotion. And if you don't believe me, just go talk to AI and ask it about, being a robot and how it feels about emotions and the last time it felt grief, and just see what it says to you. It may try to make some things up, but you're going to find out that it's very surface level. And that's what we want to avoid for your business, is everything becoming surface level with no depth, because we are, in my opinion, running fast towards a world where we're going to have a lot of that in the market. So if you can ground yourself in your expertise and leverage that expertise alongside AI, like a Formula One car that it is, but you still need to get into it and drive, then you will get ahead with your business by doing less and having more time to think and being better at what you do and getting back to the things that you're an expert at and sharpening your craft. So again, this week, think about what's on your plate and what deserves the full watch and what deserves the ending explained video. See you on the next one.